Before he was the Sorcerer Supreme, Stephen Strange was just a man. Not just any man, the world's most gifted neurosurgeon. A genius with steady hands, unmatched skill, and an ego to match. Strange didn't heal for compassion. He healed for fame, for money, for the thrill of being the best. But pride always finds a way to punish. One night, a reckless drive, a screech of tires, a crash that shattered more than metal. Stephen Strange survived, but his hands did not. Nerves destroyed, fingers trembling. The greatest surgeon alive could never hold a scalpel again. He searched for cures. Every doctor, every treatment. He spent his fortune chasing hope. But hope never came. And so he fell. From wealth to poverty. From prestige to disgrace. From genius to a broken man drowning in despair. Then a whisper. A rumor of a healer. Not a doctor, but a mystic. A figure known only as the Ancient One. Strange laughed at first. Magic was for fools. But when desperation leaves nothing else, even fools look wise. So Strange journeyed across the world, climbing the snowy peaks of Tibet. There, he found the Ancient One's temple. And within it, a truth he never imagined. The Ancient One looked into him and saw his arrogance, his greed, his pain. Strange demanded healing. But instead, the mystic showed him something greater. He revealed the astral plane. Dimensions beyond sight. Forces beyond comprehension. For the first time, Strange's mind opened wider than his ego. And when Baron Mordo, the Ancient One's disciple, turned against his master, it was Stephen Strange who defended him. In that moment, he proved something vital, that beneath the arrogance, there was potential. The Ancient One accepted him, not as a patient, but as a student. And so began the rebirth of Stephen Strange. He studied relentlessly, day and night, learning spells, incantations, rituals that bent reality itself. He traveled through dimensions, battled creatures born from nightmares. And with every trial, his old self, the selfish surgeon, died a little more. In his place rose something new. A sorcerer, a protector, a man who would one day bear the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme. But that destiny came at a cost. Because the mystic arts do not forgive. And every spell Stephen Strange cast would tie him closer to a war older than mankind itself. The war for reality. Stephen Strange rose faster than anyone expected. What began as simple lessons in magic soon became battles that tested the limits of his soul. His first true nemesis wasn't a human at all. It was a being of pure darkness. The dread lord of a hellish dimension. Dormammu. When Strange faced him, he wasn't ready. But courage isn't born from readiness. It's born from necessity. And in that confrontation, Strange proved why he had been chosen. He didn't fight Dormammu with brute force. He outwitted him. He bargained, outlasted, and stood firm where even gods had fallen. But Dormammu was only the beginning. As Strange grew, he inherited more than spells. He inherited relics. The cloak of levitation, loyal, protective, alive in its own way. The Eye of Agamotto, a weapon of truth and time, forged by the Vishanti themselves. And finally, the title, Sorcerer Supreme. With it came responsibilities no mortal could ever be ready for. To guard Earth from magical invasion. To hold back horrors from other dimensions. To fight wars no ordinary human would ever even know existed. But the path was never straight. His ally, Baron Mordo, turned bitter. Jealousy poisoned his heart until he swore vengeance on Strange. Again and again, Mordo returned, striking from the shadows, a reminder that betrayal often cuts deeper than any blade. Strange also faced threats that dwarfed even Mordo or Dormammu. He stood against Shumagorath, an ancient god who sought to devour existence. He fought Nightmare in the dream dimension, where even sleep became a battlefield. And he ventured into realms where one mistake meant eternal damnation. Yet for all his power, Strange was still human. He loved. He lost. His heart often clashed with his duty. At times, he questioned the cost of his role. And sometimes he paid it. In certain stories, the weight of magic corrupted him. He turned to darker spells, desperate to protect the world. Each time, he came closer to becoming the very monsters he swore to stop. That is the paradox of Doctor Strange. The man who protects reality, is also one mistake away from destroying it. But despite the burden, Strange never stops. Because he knows if he falters, if he falls, there is no one else. Over the years, he became more than a guardian. He became the bridge between worlds. The hero who fought alongside the Avengers, the Defenders, and countless others. The man who stood not just against enemies, but against destiny itself. And still, the battles rage on. From arrogant surgeon to broken outcast. From desperate student to Sorcerer Supreme. Stephen Strange's history is not one of triumph alone, but of sacrifice. And as long as there are demons in the dark, as long as there are gods who hunger for our world, Doctor Strange will be there. The price is his soul. The reward is our survival.